Blading on the Brain family, the time is now. As always, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Do hit the thumbs up, it goes a long way to make sure that this channel grows. And hit me up in the comments below, do you agree? Because today we're gonna dive into the Symetrics aluminum frames. I'm gonna give you a full depth review in 3, 2, let's get it in. The Symetrics aluminum frames debuted at $308. I know you had to do like EU conversions at the time, and they are a new style of aluminum frame. It's kind of like a mix. It's an homage to the core frames from the 50/50s. They hold a flat 60 to 65 wheel setup, perfect for you aggressive bladers like myself who like it nice and flat, like the control, like the swivel. They are a combination frame. So do understand that they have plastic walls on the outside, a metal core, and a plastic replaceable H-block. In fact, all the CNC milled, perfectly aligned plastic is just like the Symetrics original materials, slides like butter, and is all replaceable so you can keep the core and replace the walls as you need and the H-block as you need. It is a billet milled frame, and you can literally see the lines inside as they cut out to a T all the different parts. You can even see sometimes when it wasn't perfect. The frame is the exact duplicate of the all plastic Symetric version 5 frames, and I put them up to each other and I tried to see if there was any difference. And when you look at the size of the gap in between, because I really wanted to know, if I wear this H-block all the way down, when do I start hitting metal? So I put them together just to do a comparison, and you can see they line up almost to the exact depth of my groove. Now there is gonna be some wear and tear on the edges, right where the aluminum meets the plastic, and I do wonder how that's gonna evolve over time and whether that's gonna smooth out and become just like a nice harmony of plastic meets metal where it all kind of blends together, or whether I'm gonna feel that very stark difference when you're grinding something like streets and ledges. Before doing this review, just like any other review, I always make sure to test my frames for a while. So I've been skating these since they dropped. I think it's close to 3 months now, and I've done pretty much everything except for park skating. I don't know really how they work in transition, but I have skated this one ledge in Hayward a lot, and I can tell you, I have seen them slide. I've skated rails, I've skated P rails, I've skated different grinds, and they slide like butter. Shout outs to Peter and Olga. When they first sent me the set, they threw in additional bearings. They threw in a full set of 60 millimeter Symetrics wheels. And like I said, they threw in a full set of their bearings to go with it. So as soon as I'm done with my current setup, which is the Conjure Shred Pull wheels, same exact size, 60 mil, almost the same hardness, I will make sure to switch over and do a full test on the Symetrics line of wheels and products. Over the time that I've been skating, you will notice that I started to really wear down both the exterior sides and that H-block pretty well. There was a time when I did a true spin topsoil for a while, and I started to wear down the toe part of the outside frame walls, and I switched the frames around. It led to a really messed up shin, but overall, it worked. And I was able to save myself some of the plastic from wearing down and starting to hit my axles, but you'll see that I did start to shave down a little bit of the top of the axle. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top. Now to the review of these frames. What are some things I think about them? A, you gotta know they're heavier. I didn't do like the math or weigh them, but I know for a fact that when I skate these, they feel heavier than when I skated the plastic versions of the Symetrics frames. So do know that there is going to be a guarantee that you'll feel some more additional weight. That was probably my first adjustment, was going from a really nice, soft, pliable, you can kind of fake it till you make it frame, into this extremely rigid, hard, if you miss, you're done kind of frame. And so my first piece of advice and my first bit of the pros and cons on the Symetrics frames is that it's not for everybody. If you want a frame that is solid, slides well, and you never really have to worry about going with a different size wheels, I can go all the way to flat 65, do get the Symetrics plastic version 5, I think is what they're on now, version 5 frame. It is an amazing frame. It slides like butter. I had no problems adjusting to it, and I loved it for about a year. That is to say though, if you want something more, you like that frame and you're ready to step it up to something a little bit different, a little bit more challenging, and that's gonna open up a lot of doors for you, that's when I suggest you check out the aluminum Symetrics frame. And I'll explain a little bit. Once again, I skated everything, every type of terrain, except for transition. That is the only thing I didn't try. And in that, I learned a lot about my skating thanks to these frames. First off, I'll explain with grinds. If you don't put your feet in the right place for a grind, you're not in the right mindset, you haven't connected with your feet, you're trying something new, and it's a ledge, and you hit that metal in between channels 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, you're gonna stick and go flying. Because I've missed, and I've gone flying. When I haven't missed though, wow. The stability of these frames is off the hook. I repeat, the stability of these frames is off the hook. With no give, no flex, no bounce, when I hit a back royale perfect and I sit down, it's like I could stay there forever. The frame holds my weight. It takes a lot of the pressure from my knees and my thighs because I can really put the full complement of my weight on these frames and they're not giving. That aluminum core is holding tight. So when I hit a grind, it is lock loaded and I'm just like on for the ride. Props to aluminum frames for that. I also learned new things. I learned how to toe roll. I know you're thinking, who doesn't know how to toe roll? This guy. And I've had some of the best toe rollers around me. Eric Garcia for one, Jared Majors another. But I never learned how to toe roll. It just wasn't my thing. I never really felt it. Skating with these frames and being out with my family in like places where there were no grinds or jumps or anything, I found myself doing some flatland tricks. Toe roll, alley-oop toe roll, cess slides, those kind of cessy quick stop things that Yuto does where he like sets his turns in 180s. I'm working on those too. Because suddenly all of these things are possible because I have stability in my feet below the sole plate. It's a little different and it's hard to really explain, but trust me, you put on aluminum frames, anyone who's done it, and you start to notice immediately that stability between your wheels and your sole plate. It's magical. Overall, how would I rate the Symetrics aluminum frames? For everybody, I would give them on a scale of 1 to 10, probably an 8 to an 8.5. Yeah, that feels about right. It's not for everyone. It's a really awesome frame. It's very expensive in comparison, and you're making a commitment to a long-term investment in a frame that you may or may not really feel. If there were a way to try it on, I would suggest you find somebody that has it. They are sold out, so you do have time to wait for them to make a new batch. Find someone that has the frame if you can and try them out, right? I think that's the best way to summarize why it's an 8.5. To be honest, the Symetrics plastic frames, I would give a 9 to a 9.5. They're almost the perfect frame. So with that said, do I love my Symetrics aluminum frames? Yes, 100%. Would I consider skating a plastic frame and putting these on a skate that I use for park or urban skate? Maybe, but not really. I think what it does for me is it allows me to be more precise in the way I skate, and the ability to carve and turn and pivot, the swivels and the power slidey kind of deals and toe rolls and sit really firm on my frames. That outweighs the fact that I have to be more precise. Now, with the investment being $300, I think if you're going to make the decision to get the Symetrics aluminum frames, it's because you're going in for a long-term investment, couple years on a pair of frames that you know you're just gonna try to swap out parts and ride for as long as you can. And that's where I'm at. And that's why I think they're an 8.5 and not a 9 or a 10 for other people, because I do truly believe that the plastic frames are a 9, 9.5, and that everybody should try them at least once. It's worth the investment for however long you can skate them. Thank you again for checking in with Blading on the Brain. I really do love and look forward to doing these reviews. I love the comments. If you feel the same way as me, please holler down below. If you feel differently, please holler down below. I do reply to comments. I do love the motivation and the discussion that happens down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you're new to the channel, I post weekly as best I can. This channel is geared towards my recovery from a traumatic brain injury that I suffered while rollerblading without a helmet. So you know I'm talking about safety. You know I'm talking about that. Upgrade your gray matter, protect yourself, wear the helmet, skate safe so you can skate forever. Check in with y'all again next week. I got something coming up. I went out and did some skating today in order to try to play this slack to blade game of Blade. And I'm gonna be honest, I still got tricks to do, but I'm a little sore. So we'll see how that plays out. More videos to come. Thank you, Blading on the Brain family. See y'all next week. Peace.